Well, Virgil Ortiz does not want to honor his Goldenboy Promotions contract, taking it to his social media saying that he's not returning back to Goldenboy Promotions, that he's done with them, that is over. He's not going to try to work things out. So it's just another fighter that Goldenboy Promotion have built, which turned their backs on Goldenboy Promotions once they in a position in where they're heavily attracted to others, and there's other people putting money on the table, and eventually that money on the table makes Oscar De La Hoya and Goldenboy Promotions seem like they're the devil all of a sudden. It has happened with, years ago when a lot of these fighters left Goldenboy Promotions to go to PBC. Canelo Alvarez pulled the same thing when Oscar De La Hoya, Goldenboy Promotions secured him the largest boxing contract in the history of the sport of boxing. He broke away from that. And it's unfortunate. We see the Ryan Garcia back and forth with Goldenboy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, and now we see Virgil Ortiz. And it's not going to stop. I think that Oscar De La Hoya really got to put a stop to this. But at the end of the day, I think that Oscar De La Hoya has done wonders with a lot of people in the sport of boxing. Like, he turned Pretty Boy into Money Main. Made Manny Pacquiao just by giving him an opportunity. Not only a rich fighter, but a wealthy fighter. You know what I'm saying? Everything that Oscar De La Hoya truly touches turn to gold. The Golden Boy, Pause. But it's unfortunate that I feel like that they always stab Oscar De La Hoya in the back. People always want to leave Oscar De La Hoya when he already done the job, when he put you in position. Now they got a problem with Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions. Didn't Virgil Ortiz sign just a couple of years ago? I know that his father, shout out to Virgil Ortiz Sr. I do like the Ortiz family. I really do like Virgil Ortiz. I truly thought, from the outside looking in, you don't know these people personally. He looked like one of the most humble cats in the sport of boxing. But, I truly think that he's been manipulated to a way to... I truly believe this ain't Virgil 100%. I actually don't think that even Virgil Ortiz is the one that tweeted that. I think that everybody sees an opportunity. It's not only Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz won Jerome Booth's Ennis, but even after the fight with Erickson Lubin, Virgil Ortiz stated that he would like a fight with Earl Spence, and a lot of people wanted to shut that down, even including reported that the Zone tried to shut that thing down, right? And there's a lot of boxing fans that still want that it gotta be Boots, it gotta be Boots. Virgil Ortiz in his latest interview, in his last interview, gave praises to Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. So what changed? See, the only thing that does... Fighters are not the only one that benefit from opportunity in terms of there's more money on the table, percentages. Everybody that's with Virgil Ortiz is getting paid. They got their percentage from managers, from trainer, his dad, from Robert Garcia. So there's more money on the table, an opportunity to have more money on the table. And I truly think that a lot of people colluded. I truly think, this is my opinion, common sense tells me that a lot of people colluded to put Virgil Ortiz in a position in which they could see some type of holes in the contract to eventually go after Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions to breach the contract so they could get that $16 to $20 million deal that was given by Matchroom Boxing. But all money is not good money. I believe that Virgil Ortiz eventually, the way that Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotion, even his manager, and what Virgil has done in the ring, having a great trainer, his father, that it's inevitable that he was going to make that money, but honorably. I also believe that people should honor the contract on both sides. And if Virgil Ortiz just in November, December was all cool with Golden Boy Promotion and Oscar De La Hoya, he had every right to throw them under the bus when he was asked in his latest interview with Akim Barak, Virgil Ortiz, this is not Virgil Ortiz's plan. I believe that Virgil Ortiz is signing off to the opportunity of what everybody else wants. Virgil Ortiz is just a fighter. He'll fight Boots, he'll fight Xander, he'll fight anybody. So he wasn't pigeonholed to Boots. It's Boots or nothing. It's Boots or F everyone in the world. That wasn't Boots. That wasn't Virgil Ortiz. This ain't about Boots. This is about the 3-fight deal and the potential money that's on the table. Of course, Virgil Ortiz is looking at it like, yo, y'all was going to give me $3 million. What the hell is that? I just made 4.5 or $4+ million versus Majumov and Boachuk. But that was Turkey Al Sheikh's money. See, that wasn't your market value. But who gave you those opportunities as well? Who gave you the opportunity so when you were sick that stood by you, in which they could eventually, they could have ripped your contract apart in standard contracts, even with your injury, they could have just left you in the dirt. You were no social media. Virgil Ortiz is not a social media sensation. Goldenboy Promotions built Virgil Ortiz from the ground up since 18 years old. And now that he is one of the hottest fighters in topics, now he wants out. Now the problem at Oscar De La Hoya, no, the problem, like I said before, the common denominator is not what people like to say. It got to be Oscar De La Hoya because all these guys left. These guys, no, the common denominator is that they want to leave once they have the value. And here comes the devilish energy. People coming around trying to take him away from Oscar De La Hoya and Goldenboy Promotions, and they submitted to that. It's sad. Now Virgil Ortiz potentially going to be sitting in the bench. Almost like the Mikey Garcia situation. Now look. I believe in honoring the contract. I believe in believing the process. Just like Oscar De La Hoya did with Top Rank. He honored the contract and he still got his money. But he honored the contract. He ain't stabbed nobody in the back to be the golden one. The golden boy. There is an art. There's honorable in honoring the contracts. If you're a free agent, go ahead. But to break a contract when you was all happy about it. All money and good money. Oscar De La Hoya was all good and great for the Virgil Ortiz family until there was the amount of money that probably Oscar De La Hoya didn't put on the table, but still there has a contract there. And all of a sudden, Oscar De La Hoya became the enemy. Nah. All of a sudden, he became the devil. Nah, you know what's the devil? That's $16 to $20 million. That's not honorable. Hopefully, Virgil Ortiz get back in the ring. I'm optimistic that fight could still take place, Boots and Virgil. But in the end of the day, I still think that even if it takes place, Goldenboy Promotions is going to get a piece of that money. A piece of the deal. But it's unfortunate. Too many snakes in the sport of boxing. I always say in the sport of boxing, you got to swim like a shark and need to learn how to slither with the snakes. And even the humble ones have those type of characteristics. And it's sad. Let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Love you. God bless. And on to the next.